Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. As far as tonight's Monday Night Raw goes, I liked the show. I was thoroughly enjoyed throughout the entirety of tonight's Raw. There was some big news on the show. We got some announcements. We got some changes-ish, I guess you could say, to Backlash. I guess Bad Bunny being the host was never the end game. We didn't get the tag match like everyone was reporting, but we're getting a street fight between Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, so that should be interesting. But Luke, sitting over there, what do you want to call it? What do you think of tonight's Monday Night Raw?
Honestly, I thought it was a very newsworthy show.
Yes.
Like, that's one thing. Very newsworthy. And they did a good job of building stuff up for Backlash. So overall, I thought it was a very productive show.
Yeah.
And it was very entertaining as well.
I feel the same way, that we got a lot of progression going forward, whether that is for Backlash, whether that is for the draft, post-draft, Friday SmackDown. We got storyline progressions for that as well. So a lot of things happened on tonight's show that I was thoroughly enjoyed by. And one thing happened on Twitter that made me laugh so hard. So Triple H is in the ring, right? He's given his speech about Roman and how Roman is a champion, but Roman doesn't really defend the title all the time. Then he announces the new belt. And then as soon as he does that, AEW sends out a tweet. This Wednesday, we will hear from AEW CEO and GM Tony Khan. Tune in at 8/7 Central on TBS. Right? As Triple H is ending his big announcement. Like, really? Really? You had to time it perfectly? Jesus freaking Christ. Like, that was redonkulous.
Another thing that made me laugh was a fan had a sign like ringside. I'll have to pull up what it said, but it was pretty hilarious. I'll have to see what it is. It was something about CM. It was Hunter. I know you're in Gorilla. What happened to Triple H versus CM Punk?
Oh, we could talk about that.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Right, and we could talk about that as well. Punk was backstage at Raw for a little bit tonight. Punk showed up. Apparently, he was in the parking lot with Tamina, went inside, and was told by WWE's head of security, Jim Kelly, that he needed to leave. Don't know why he was there, what he was doing there. Fightful said he spoke to The Miz, and there we go. Also, if you guys have not seen it yet, which I don't know how you haven't, but this is one of the better photos we've got of it. Here is the new World Championship. Let's pull that up on the screen right here. This is the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship. One of the better angles and shots of the belt that we got tonight so far. I assume WWE is going to put professional photos up sometime shortly on WWE.com. But yeah, let me know in the live chat if you're watching live, or the comments below, what you think of the design of the new WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I don't hate it. It's kind of weird that it's got the big W in the middle. I get why it does, but it's not bad. I'll just say that. It's not bad. I don't hate it.
I kept saying it looked a lot like the Evolve World title.
Right now, I want to pull that up really fast. Evolve. You know who the last Evolve World Champion was, right?
I can't remember his name.
I'll give you a hint. He's in NXT right now.
God, I know who you're talking about. I forgot his name. I'm pretty sure he's competing at Spring Break-In. Is it Briggs?
Yes, Josh Briggs. Briggs was the last Evolve champion, which I wish I don't know. He's good in what he is doing in NXT, but I always thought when I saw him as the Evolved Champion, I'm like, oh, this is a guy that WWE can take and run with as a big, like, single star. But I'm going to pull this up right here. We're going to compare these really fast. Because you said it looks like the Evolved title. So let's pull up comparison shots. We'll do this really quickly before we get going. Remember, guys, this is our Monday Night Raw review. You can watch it a bunch of different ways, whether that's live or later. You can watch live on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, or live and later on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can listen to this podcast on podcast services all around the globe, like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and they always give you one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember that you can become a channel member over on YouTube by hitting that join button and head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free games or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. We lost Luke. And Luke is Luke back? Maybe. Lost him for a second. Remember, head over to the Epic Game Store and put in code PW Unlimited for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Oh no, we lost Luke. Let's give this a moment here. I don't know what's going on at all. Maybe I need to close Discord? Uh-oh. Let me disconnect. Recall Luke on Discord. We're trying to get this to go on the fly. Uh-oh, you guys are hearing some... We're going to mute that for a second. Do we not have Luke? We need Luke. Oh, wait. It's trying to connect. I don't know what's going on, though. Give me another minute. Nope, still no Luke. Not sure what's going on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go like this for now, and then if we can get Luke back, we'll get Luke back. So I guess we'll just start talking about Raw without Luke, and so, oh, he's trying to connect again. He's trying to connect again. I'm not. Oh, we got Luke back. We've got Luke back. What's going on? Okay, gotcha. But so I pulled this up as you said the Evolve title. Here's comparison shots. You have the new WWE Championship over here, the Evolve belt here. I can see where you can see some slight resemblances there. I can see it a little bit. Yeah. Right. The logo right in the center. Yeah, no. I could see it a little bit. So you're not crazy or anything for thinking that. But
Evolve title. So,
Oop, you were muted there for a second on my end, but we're good now. We're good now. Everything is good. But as far as Raw does go, Raw did kick off with one Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes opened up the show and, well, got a big reaction from the crowd in Chicago and talked about what Chicago means to him. He also talked about the upcoming draft and his upcoming match with Brock Lesnar. He said Brock is the most decorated combat sports athlete ever, and Rhodes had clips showing the beating Lesnar gave him 3 weeks ago. He said it's the worst beating of his life. Rhodes then removes his shirt, and some people in the crowd were like, woo! I thought that was kind of funny. And he shows off the scar from his pec surgery, stating that this scar came right after he had a match in that same building, the Allstate Arena, back at Hell in a Cell last year. Talked about the pec surgery and wrestling with the torn pec. Rhodes then dared Lesnar to give him another scar. He said, put another scar on me and show me what you can do. He said, Lesnar hasn't learned anything about me. He said he wrestled with the injury and still beat one of the best to ever do this inside Hell in a Cell. Rhodes said that he never talks about or watches that match, despite the picture of him with the bruise being one of the most autographed photos he's ever autographed. He spoke about the fans in Chicago rallying behind him during that match. He'd had many great moments in the city of Chicago and wanted to thank them for it. I mean, yeah, the whole all-in thing started in Chicago. So Chicago does have a special place for Cody, regardless, no matter what. Out would then come Finn Balor. Balor told Rhodes, quote, we all got scars, mate. Balor saw that Rhodes had Roman Reigns beat at WrestleMania and got screwed. Balor knew how he felt. The reason Rhodes got screwed was he had nobody to help him, nobody to watch his back. Balor said that Rhodes trusted the wrong man in Lesnar. And look what happened. Balor said that Rhodes needed to be smarter like him. Balor called the match against Lesnar a match he can't win, at least not on his own. Rhodes was under the impression that there was a mutual respect between them, but he was starting to doubt that, and he wasn't buying what Balor was selling. Balor then basically said that Cody should join Judgment Day, and in doing so, they can all be unstoppable. He's like, Rhea is the SmackDown Women's Champion. Damian put the biggest star in the world through a table. Dominic proved that he was already greater than his father, and the crowd told Balor he sucked. He started chanting, you suck. And as he told Rhodes that they can have his back at Backlash. Rhodes then encouraged the crowd to keep chanting before politely declining Finn's offer. Rhodes then offered a handshake, but Balor told him that he was either with him or against him. Balor then told Rhodes to watch his back or else he'd smack the bleach out of his hair. Rhodes then said, well, you probably don't know this, but a couple hours ago, I got medically cleared to have a match tonight, so how about you and me fight in this ring? And my first thought was, they're still doing this bullshit? We all know that ever since he got beat up by Brock, he's still working both nights every weekend. So are we just supposed to suspend disbelief and think one of two different things? Either A, he's working not medically cleared, so somebody's fucking up there, or B, they say you're not medically cleared and he's still going to work and they're still going to... I don't... It's playing their audience stupid, and I don't like that. Finn accepted the match, and there we go. But what do you think of the opening segment here with Cody and Finn?
That was all right. I mean, the one part where Finn was like, Dominic's already proved that he's better than his father. Like, Dominic lost to Ray at Mania.
Right, but that's the joke. It's the joke.
Yeah, but like, I also kind of felt bad because I know later on it was like, dang, Finn's gonna be losing again, because like Finn's always like constantly losing.
I thought the same thing. I had the same thought, like oh my god,
this is just gonna be another match where like Finn's gonna get crushed again.
Yep. Kevin Patrick announced that they have a sold-out crowd here in Chicago, and that tonight Triple H will make an announcement that will, quote, rock the foundation of the WWE. Then out came the LWO for a 6-man tag, And they got new music, which starts with Eddie's old thing where it goes, Viva la Raza. And yeah, what did you think of the new LWO music? I thought it sounded cool.
I thought it was a banger as well.
Yeah, I liked it.
I don't know if you saw this on Twitter or not. Like Chavo was basically kind of like ripping on Ray for like using Eddie's legacy just to like make himself look good.
Yeah, I saw that. It's basically just like, so I don't know where I fall on this because I think Chavo's just looking for attention, to be completely honest. That's how it came off to me. So that's what I think.
I get what he's saying, but like he was still kind of like honoring Eddie at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't think he was just doing anything to like make him look good.
Right. And it's just like at WrestleMania when he used Eddie's theme for a moment, the Viva la Raza, you know. Vicky thought it was cool. Vicky liked it. She said, what a great tribute. Again, she called it a tribute to Eddie. So I don't know.
Vicky was also like extremely happy that they brought back the LWO. She was going on Twitter saying like Eddie would be very proud of this.
Yes. Yes. So as far as this match with the LWO, they took on the Bloodline, the Usos, and Solo Sikoa in a sub 9-minute match. I liked the match. I thought it was really fun. The LWO had the early advantage as they hit a bunch of dives before a early commercial break. They showed replays of the dive upon returning from the break, but no clips of what happened during the break for the Bloodline to take control, which is kind of weird. Santos Escobar did make the tag at one point and ran wild until he hit Jimmy Uso with a flying crossbody for a 2. Cruz del Toro followed this up with a Phoenix Splash, but Jay broke up the pin. Solo then gave Joaquin Wilde a Uranagi on the edge of the ring while Del Toro set it for a coast-to-coast dropkick. Jay distracted the referee while Solo nailed Del Toro with Samoan Spike in midair. Usos then followed this up with a 1D, and Jay pinned Del Toro to pick up the victory. I don't like the LWO losing so much, but the Usos had to win tonight to have that momentum going into SmackDown on Friday. But what did you think of the match?
Match was good. I mean, I kind of felt the same way. I mean, I don't really want to see LWO losing a lot because they have been losing lately. So hopefully they can pick up some more wins. They just brought him, like they just like kind of like formed this faction,
right?
So like you think like make them look good. So hopefully they pick up some wins.
So after the match, Jay said that they had just one bad night at WrestleMania 39 where they let down the Bloodline. Jimmy said that they would become tag team champions again on Friday and just dedicated that victory to Roman Reigns. That right there plays into a Sammy J segment later, which then plays into more stuff. Show-long storyline that I really liked, kind of hyping up the tag title match for Friday. So the announcers talked about the tag title match on SmackDown. They said that it was official, like we didn't already know that. Kind of weird. But they called it the biggest tag team match in SmackDown history, which I don't believe that. Because we had a tag team TLC match on SmackDown back in the day. I think that was a bigger match than this. This is a big match nonetheless, but I don't think it's the biggest match in SmackDown history or tag match in SmackDown history. We've had plenty of big tag team matches on SmackDown. Probably bigger than this.
I mean, it'll be a big rematch. But definitely not like the biggest match in SmackDown history.
No. I think it's a big, meaningful tag team match, but I don't think it's, quote, the biggest tag team match in SmackDown history. So we go to the back. Kathy Kelly tried interviewing Bianca Belair, but they were interrupted by Damage Control. Io Sky says she wanted to face her tonight, and Belair seemed to agree, but then Bayley interrupted and said, no, the three of us want to face you and any two loser partners you can find. Sky and Bayley were obviously not on the same page here. So then we are in the back, and Jey Uso was on his phone when he bumps into Sami Zayn. Sami thought it was funny that they dedicated Friday's match to Roman. They had a chance to win the titles back, and they should be doing it for themselves, but instead, they're doing it for somebody else in Roman Reigns. He said, now, you've attached Roman's name to this. Now, there's even more pressure on this, and what if you fail? What if you don't win? with Roman's name attached to this. What do you think he's going to do to you? Zayn said that Jay doesn't deserve what will come to him when they lose on Friday. Jay asked Zayn why he even cared, and Sami said he felt bad. Jay said that he shouldn't feel bad because he made this choice, and Jay made a choice as well. Well, Sami got in Jay's head there, as we learn later. But what do you think of this interaction between Sami and Jay?
That was kind of cool. It's going to be really interesting to see like where this all going to lead to. Like maybe Jay just realizes, you know what, like you don't need Roman and stuff. Yeah,
I have a weird.
I kind of like this still.
Yeah, I have a weird feeling though. Roman and the Usos will end up on separate brands in the draft. I don't know why, but I just have a weird feeling.
I mean, it would benefit the Usos if they were kind of like separated from Roman.
Yes, I agree.
Same with like Solo, because one thing I kind of been hoping for was that maybe they can just do like a part where they just have like Paul Heyman just be like a manager to Solo and give Solo like this big singles run.
Mm-hmm. So, as far as the next segment does go, this segment was actually changed from what it originally was supposed to be earlier in the day. So, this is the Kathy Kelly Trish Stratus interview. At one point throughout the day, this segment was actually supposed to also feature Piper Niven and Candice LeRae. Not sure exactly how it was supposed to go down, but it just ended up being a Trish Stratus interview backstage. So Kathy Kelly interviewed Trish Stratus. Kelly wondered if Stratus knew why Becky Lynch wasn't here for the second week in a row. Stratus said that Lynch was having trouble handling the pressure of being on top of the women's division and now being a mom at the same time. Stratus said that she knew what the pressures were like, and she is thriving doing the same thing. Stratus put Lynch out of her misery, and she said Becky should be thanking me. This is one of the things on the show I didn't really care for, but I guess it's just more progression for this. Becky's actually dealing with some sort of an injury. That's why she wasn't there for the second week in a row. Any thoughts?
I mean,
there really wasn't much to it.
It wasn't. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. Then we had a match that went less than 2.5 minutes. It were the Street Profits against Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Not much really to the match. Alexander and Benjamin got some good offense early on, but then the Street Profits ended up winning after Angelo Dawkins gave Alexander a spine buster and Ford hit him with a frog splash for the pin. Bingo bongo, there we go. Nothing really happened. Just a, hey, here are two tag teams.
I will say this though, like a few months ago, was honestly looking like that they were going to reunite the Hurt business, but then that just like died out. Like I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. Very weird.
And maybe they could still do that, but I don't know.
So then we get the Triple H segment. King of Kings plays over the speakers in the Allstate Arena as Triple H comes out to a huge reaction from the Chicago crowd. He said that he had the incredible privilege of competing in front of fans in this building 20-something years ago, WrestleMania 23, where he defended the WWE Championship against John Cena. Triple H was now privileged to ensure that WWE was all that it can be. Triple H wanted to address the current world champion in Roman Reigns, who was approaching 1,000 days as the champion. Triple H shared the ring with some of the greatest ever and said Reigns was good enough to hang with any of them. He said during his near 1,000 days as champion, Reigns negotiated it into his contract that he did not have to defend the title as much as he used to. He said this might be good for Roman, but it is not good for the WWE or the WWE Universe. The fans, well, they deserve more. When Triple H said that the draft would shake the foundation of the WWE, he really meant it. He said that Roman Reigns will be drafted, and Roman Reigns will go to one brand. And when he does so, he will take the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship with him. The other brand will get this as he unveils the brand new WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He noted that again, whatever brand does not draft Roman Reigns, well, they get this new belt. And then on May 27th in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions, a new champion will be crowned the first new World Heavyweight Champion. Triple H said that this would be a champion to be proud of, respected, and admired. A champion that will defend this title in any place, any time, all over the world. This champion would not demand your acknowledgement, but instead earn it. Also, I'm being corrected in the chat. WrestleMania 22, not 23. Sorry. So, yeah, kind of throwing some shade at Roman as far as the whole, oh, this champion's going to earn your respect. Oh, this champion's actually going to be here and wrestle and this and that and da-da-da, which Seth talks about later, saying some of the same things. But they don't say exactly how they're going to crown the new champion. I think they should do a tournament style thing with like the semifinals and the finals being at Night of Champions or something. So you get like the final 2 rounds of whatever this tournament's going to be. But yeah, I think if I'm predicting Roman stays on SmackDown and this new title goes to Raw. But what do you think of the unveiling of the belt and the announcement that Roman's going to keep his belts and this belt's going to the other brand? Also, does Roman keep carrying both titles or does he go to one?
That's what I'm really interested in, to see if they actually create like a new like title for like Roman, so he doesn't have to carry both belts. And as far as like the new world title goes, I think it's going to Raw, because I know USA have been complaining for a while that they haven't had a world title on their show, with Roman like not having to defend the title as much. Like, it's gonna go to Raw, because I highly doubt USA would want a world title. It's not gonna be defended as much.
Right. It's just there's something that Roman fits really well over there on SmackDown. I don't know what it is, but we've seen him on Raw. We've seen him on SmackDown. I just like Roman better on SmackDown, so I think Roman gets drafted to SmackDown. New title goes to Raw. And I know people are going to say, it's just 2016 all over again. We'll see. So do you think, we don't know who gets the number 1 draft pick, but do you think Roman goes number 1 overall? He's got to, right?
He has to.
Yeah, because, well, honestly, I can see him not going number 1 overall. And then the fans are going to all say that whatever brand didn't take Roman number 1 is stupid. But say, for instance, Raw gets the first draft pick and they take Seth. And then SmackDown takes Roman. What if the reasoning could be something along the lines of, we didn't even want that title. We wanted the new title, and we wanted to be able to crown a champion ourselves anyways. That could be a way to get around not having Roman go number 1, saying that they would rather have the new title. So, I don't know. We don't really know much of this draft format other than everybody's involved. Everybody can be drafted. And so, yeah. It'll be interesting to see if they announce anything, any like draft rules or format stuff throughout the week.
And another thing is going to be interesting is like who are going to be like the final 2 like competing for that world title. Like
a lot
of people
go for it.
I know a lot of people keep saying Seth.
Well, because they really made us think it's going to be Seth tonight. They really played that up.
You know, like a few months ago, like when there were those rumors that WWE was going to add a new world title, a lot of people kept saying maybe like Seth and Drew.
Well, because that was the Fightful report. So the Fightful report was Raw can get a new world title, and they're going to put it on Seth, and then Seth is going to defend against either Drew or Cody. That was always the rumor and the report, was they wanted to put a title on Seth. Hence, I mean, there's a reason Seth never actually lost to Roman in the title match. Like, there's a reason, if you think about it. Seth's the one that did not actually lose and get, quote-unquote, beat for real. Well, I think Seth gets the belt.
Honestly, if Roman didn't have both belts, like in the first place, Seth would have been world champion in 2022.
Yes, I believe so. Now, the one thing I don't want to see here, I don't want this title going to Cody. I don't. because it's going to feel like Cody had to take a consolation prize. And I'm not saying that this belt is a consolation prize, but the whole thing of months of him saying, I'm going to beat Roman for the belt. I'm going to beat Roman for the belt. I think he needs to have that belt because that's the belt that he was saying he wanted. That's the belt he wanted to go for. So I think A, Cody needs to take the other belt. And B, I think Cody needs to, no matter where they do it or when they do it, Cody needs to be the one that beats Roman. That's still how I feel. I don't know if others feel the same. I don't want this new belt to go to Cody. I don't even want Cody involved, to be honest.
I mean, like, yeah, if Cody does win it, then like everyone's already saying, like, oh, it's basically a consolation prize if Cody wins, which that is.
And that's doing two wrongs, in my opinion. A, it's Cody's good enough to be a world champion here, but not good enough to take the title off of Roman. So in turn, that hurts Cody. And B, it already in turn makes this new world title feel lesser than the one Roman has. And if you want them to feel as equal as possible, I don't think it should go to Cody. Because it's just literally gonna feel like, oh, the guy that couldn't beat Roman a month and a half ago now gets this belt? Okay. That's why I think it needs to go to somebody else, like a Seth Rollins or a Kevin Owens. Or, well, it can't go to Kevin Owens. So that's someone we can rule out 100%. If the new champion is crowned at Night of Champions in Saudi, it ain't Kevin and it ain't Sammy. So we can rule those two out. But if we're thinking, Bobby Lashley maybe? Seth Rollins? I would kind of cry if it went Omos.
Would too. Ooh. If they want like do like another thing back in 2016, let's say like Raw drafts Braun Breaker and they have Braun Breaker versus Seth.
Oh, so you're just calling Braun the new Finn?
Kind of.
I could see something like that. Hell, you want to really piss?
Braun doesn't get injured that night.
You want to really piss people off then? Grayson Waller. I wouldn't hate it.
Wouldn't hate it either, but it would just be like one of those things where you're trying to get the fans like even more hated towards Grayson.
I got it. They've had this in the works for months now, and maybe because of that, there is a reason we have not heard anything of AJ Styles and his recovery. Maybe they're keeping AJ's return super, super secret because he's returning to win this belt. Phenomenal one. Like, there's got to be a reason why nobody is talking about AJ's injury and his recovery at all. It's just weird because we always hear something. And it's been since December.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it, but I wouldn't hate it because it would make the OC look really good.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now everyone's kind of like forgotten about him now. Mainly because AJ's gone. That really sucks.
Well, with AJ gone, they're not even using Gallows and Anderson, really.
Mainly just using them for like house shows and stuff.
So if I'm looking at the roster,
which sucks.
Yeah. Others that I can maybe see get this belt: Drew, Sheamus. I would say Gunther if he didn't have the Intercontinental title. I think this would actually be perfect for Gunther. But they're wanting him to have that super long IC title reign. So, just looking, I'm on WWE.
Gunther's probably gonna hold the belt till like at least Money in the Bank.
Oh, he's gonna hold that belt for a long time. They want him to break records. I'm trying to see who else.
Is he already the longest reigning IC title?
Not of all time, but in the last, like in this millennium or whatever. I threw it out on Twitter as a joke. But remember what Logan Paul said when he signed his new contract? I want to win a WWE belt. So what if
They cannot do that for their first world champion.
No. What if
They
Triple
cannot.
H goes out here and says, this title's going to be defended all the time, everywhere around the world, and then they put it on a part-timer like Logan Paul?
They cannot do that.
No, they wouldn't, but that'd be so funny.
Triple H has always been against like part-timers like being like world champions and stuff because he wants them to like on every show.
I'm trying to see who else on the ooh. What if they want to really build somebody like you were saying, bring up a Braun Breaker, put the title on him, and boom, you've tried to make a star in one night. What if they really want to push somebody as a like big time main eventer? What if they put this title on Montez Ford?
I mean,
They've done the tease of the split up of Street Profits. They've done that
I
tease.
wouldn't hate it, but it would really suck for Dawkins.
It would. All right.
That's my biggest fear when they split up the Street Profits. It would be really good for Ford, but it would suck for Dawkins.
I got it. I know exactly who's winning this belt.
Who?
L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Hey, listen, that's what the fans want. They want him to be world champion. And
Right?
I know he's been rumored to like win Money in the Bank.
No, screw that. Just have him win this belt. Just put it on him.
He can do so much with that belt.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of opportunities and possibilities. It just all depends on who goes to what brand. We'll have a good inkling Friday evening who's going to potentially be the champion here, because we'll see in the first half of the draft who's I assume, as we talked earlier about Roman should probably be the number one draft pick, I assume we'll know what brand this belt's on within the first hour of SmackDown.
I think the belt would fit better on Raw.
Same. But yeah, going through, there's not really, like, honestly, there's only about a handful of guys that I should see that should be the first champion, whether that's Finn, Seth, Drew, Sheamus, and I'll put LA Knight's name out there as the possibility. Honestly, I also think that since this Night of Champions show was supposed to be King and Queen of the Ring, I think they should do some, like I said already, some sort of a tournament to crown this champion. And then we're still going to get the tournament that they wanted to do at this show anyways.
I mean, if WWE had Jay White, I thought Jay White would have been perfect for this belt.
Sheamus is already angling for it. He posted a picture of him with the old gold belt.
Yeah, like it's gonna be interesting to see like how they like crown the champion. Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna be the first champion? Yeah, a lot of opportunities here. I mean, they could go Seth because like that's like the fan favorite right there. That's what everybody's already predicting. Or you can go on someone else. Create like their next like big star. Someone like an LA Knight or a Braun Breaker.
Stone Cold in the YouTube chat says Gunther wins it. He can't unless you take the IC title off of him, and they ain't doing that anytime soon. So, but we'll have to wait and see. There's still 1 month and 3 days till Night of Champions. And I think, like I said, things are become a lot clearer Friday, but really next Monday once they do conclude the draft.
Oh yeah, that Night of Champions. That's gonna be the show like the day before Double or Nothing, I believe.
Yes. Double or
that's
Nothing,
gonna be
and there's an NXT pay-per-view that night as well, on the same night as Double or Nothing.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a
The
very
battle
exciting weekend of wrestling.
WWE NXT Battleground, I think it is.
I believe so.
Cool thing that this is a Saudi show. It's going to be an early morning show. Don't got to stay up late for it. But as we move forward, Kathy Kelly approached the Judgment Day backstage for an interview. She specifically asked Damian Priest a question And Balor was like, oh, so I'm just invisible here? Can't talk to me when you're standing right next to me? Priest then told Balor he had to go get ready, and he had to leave anyways. Priest thought that it was great that Bad Bunny was here tonight. Priest mentioned all of Bunny's success and said that he has even had success in WWE, but only when Priest had his back. He said if Bad Bunny is in his business again, he's going to end up putting him through yet another table. He's like, it's not like I'm going to show up to Coachella and interrupt his job. No. So why is he going to come interrupt mine? Dom then said that Bad Bunny could watch Priest take out his deadbeat dad later tonight and said that he would exterminate Ray later. So there we go. Just building up more. And what the heck's up with Bad Bunny showing up the last 5 minutes of the show? This guy, big time in WWE, can't get there when everybody else gets there at the call time. He just show up whenever he wants.
I guess so, unless maybe he had like car trouble or something. I
don't know. Because they're like, Corey Graves, like right before the main event starts, he goes, I'm getting breaking news word that Bad Bunny has updated his Instagram story to show that he's outside the building. I'm like, what? Okay, guy. Oh, we got a Bronson Reed hype video. Let me go to the back. Bloodline. Jimmy's trying to hype them all up for this week, for SmackDown Friday, but he notices something's wrong. Jay don't seem like himself. Jay then said, what if we don't win? What if we lose? What's going to happen? And Jimmy's like, excuse me? No. We can't think like that. He's like, but what if? He's like, where's this coming from? And he's like, well, I spoke to Sammy earlier. And he's like, excuse me? And Jimmy jumps up. Was like, you spoke to who? Sammy? Why are you talking to Sammy? And Solo's like, Solo don't speak, but he's like, tell him, calm down. Back it up. And he's like, no. We're not going to worry about any of that. You don't need to be speaking to Sammy. And Jay's like, but, what happens if we don't win, though? Like, he's very concerned. And Jimmy's like, but we will. We'll get our titles back, and we'll do it for the tribal chief. And then Jimmy walks up and leaves. Any thoughts on this segment?
I kind of like that like Sammy's kind of getting into like Jay's head a little bit. Like,
yeah.
But not in like a bad way to like make him lose, just like a way to like try to get him out of the bloodline, because he still cares for Jay, even though like Jay somewhat doesn't like him.
Right. Then we had 6-woman tag team action. It was Damage Control against Bianca Belair and 2 partners of her choosing. And who did she choose? Well, the women's tag team champions. So the match starts off and they're all going back and forth. And about a minute or so in, they go to break. After the break, Morgan failed to make a hot tag because Sky yanked Belair off the apron. Morgan gave Kai a backstabber and tagged into Rodriguez, who hit Bayley with a clothesline, follow-away slam, and a twisting senton, but Kai broke up the pin. Rodriguez then threw Kai from the ring. Rodriguez then powerbombed Morgan, her partner, over the top rope onto Bayley. Sky dropkicked Rodriguez out of the ring, and Belair tried to give Sky a KOD, but Sky blocked it. Belair drove Sky into the ring post before Bayley tripped Belair. Bayley then tried to take advantage, but Belair countered and hit a KOD to pick up the pinfall victory. So the babyfaces win, and it is official. Bianca Belair will be defending the Raw Women's Championship against Io Sky at Backlash. So that is official. But the match itself went 9.5 minutes. It was solid, but I didn't think it was great. But I didn't think it was a bad match at all. I thought it was a very good television match. What do you think?
Match is all right. It can honestly just be like another like big tease that like Io and Dakota could be turning on Bayley, because Bayley was the one that took the pin.
Exactly.
So it can just show frustration for Io, like, hey, we're the ones that are like Damage Control revel it.
Right, because think about it too.
I can't even speak right now.
Yeah, but think about it too, because afterwards Bayley gets pinned. Io was late breaking up the cover, and then her her and Bailey had like a look at each other before her and Belair kind of went face to face. So tension.
It's gonna be interesting. Like, we know like damage control is probably gonna get split soon. The question is like, how and when?
Draft, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't want it in the draft because I would like to see them turn and then Bailey go babyface. But we'll see.
Do like a match where like Bailey finds a partner to help take out like Dakota and Io.
Or we get another 6-man like this. Bailey gets pinned and they finally say, you know what? No. You may have started damage control, but you're the one keeping damage control from getting to the next level, and then they attack Bailey and take her out. And then they can go the Bailey finds a partner route. But yeah. So I don't want to see them broken up in the draft because I think there's a story to be told here of Dakota and Io turning on Bailey.
At least like maybe they can do it like before Backlash, maybe.
Well, then it would have to be next Monday because next Monday is the final Raw before Backlash.
Yes, yeah. Unless, I got it. So like they do the draft, they announce like Bailey's staying on Raw, but like Io and Dakota are going to SmackDown. And then like Bailey's all upset, and then Io and Dakota they attack Bailey from behind.
During the draft, I could see that.
Announce that like all three of them are going to be on separate brands. Then Io and Dakota they turn on Bailey.
Yeah, that would work actually. Yeah. Then we got a segment to hype up the U.S. title match at Backlash. Theory entered for a promo and welcomed us to Austin Theory Live. Theory called himself the greatest United States champion ever, but wondered where his respect was. He didn't even get to choose his next opponents. Theory looked over at the new world title belt, which was on display at ringside for the remainder of the show, and said that would be around his waist because if anybody has earned it, it has been him. And honestly, if he didn't have the U.S. title, which he could lose at Backlash, I don't see an issue with putting the title on Austin Theory. I don't think of him as the first, but if they were to go that route, I wouldn't be against it. But at the same time, you got to be like, yeah, but he just lost he's got to lose the U.S. title first. And I don't want someone that just lost a belt to then win this belt as the first champion, if you get what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
But if he didn't have the U.S. belt already, like say he lost it at Mania to Cena or whatever, I would think he would be, I would have put him on my list of possible first champions if he hadn't had that U.S. title for a while already.
Right.
So,
you really think he would lose to either Bobby or Bronson Reed at Backlash?
I think it's very possible that, because if you think about it, he doesn't even have to get pinned. It's a way to keep him strong. Bronson pins Bobby or Bobby pins Bronson.
Maybe they can go the route of like Theory loses his title at Backlash and he's like, you know what? I've already held the United States title long enough. I want to be the first ever world champion on Raw.
Right. And I think the only way that would work and people would even, what's the word I'm looking for? Not shit on it as much is if he's not the one to take the pin. So if, like you're saying, if he loses and says, I want bigger and better things, I think that only makes sense if he's not the one to get pinned. Because then everyone's going to go, oh, well, he's just a loser champion anyway. So, but I could see it. He said, though, he was forced into defending his title in a triple threat where he can lose without even being pinned or submitted. The crowd then chanted, "You sucked." And he smiled and reminded everybody, yeah, well, I beat John Cena at WrestleMania. Lashley would then interrupt. Lashley wondered when Theory would step up and run towards the obstacles instead of away from them. Lashley knew how tough Theory was, but didn't think Theory even knew it. Lashley wondered if Theory was lazy or scared. Lashley let him know that the triple threat match was his idea to start. Theory then asked Lashley why he didn't have a match at WrestleMania if he was so good at making matches. Theory then threatened to knock his teeth out. Theory then tried to take a cheap shot, but Lashley fought him off. Bronson Reed then joined in, and they double-teamed Lashley. Theory then held Lashley against the ring post, and Bronson squashed him. Theory then gave Lashley an A-Town down and bragged until Reed ran him over. Reed then gave Theory a Samoan drop and a tsunami. So Reed essentially was the one standing tall at the end of all of this. But what'd you think?
I honestly wouldn't hate Bronson Reed pinning Lashley to be the United States champion.
Be cool.
Because, they've really been they've been playing a lot of these hype videos for him, and it'd be a good way for fans to possibly cheer for him.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
There's been no fan reaction for him whatsoever. No cheers, no boos, no nothing.
Yep.
So I feel like this could be a good way for fans to get behind Bronson Reed.
Totally agree. Earlier today, Chad Gable explained the rules of the draft to Rick Boogs per Elias's request. Gable said that he got assurance that he would get drafted alongside Otis, but that Maxine Dupree wasn't so sure. Mustafa Ali then showed up and said some stuff before calling Gable a loser. Gable then told him to shush, and Otis stood up for Gable. This then led to a 1 and a 50-second match. Mustafa Ali against Chad Gable. They announced Ali as from Chicago as he is before his music even hit. Crowd gave him a good reaction, but not much really happened in this match. It went less than 2 minutes. Ali tried to go for a rolling neckbreaker, but Gable caught him and hit him with a dragon suplex. Ali spiked Gable with a tornado DDT and tried to go for a splash, but Gable avoided it. Gable then tried to go for a Chaos Theory suplex, but Ali countered into a roll-up and pinned him to pick up the victory. So, hey, someone got a win in their hometown. That's how you know Vince ain't booking it.
I mean, really wasn't much to it. I would have expected maybe Maxine would try to screw over Chad. There was no
I can see that.
no distractions whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is another tag team that could possibly get split up in the draft.
Yes.
I know there have been rumors that Triple H really wants to use Chad Gable as a singles guy.
Mm-hmm. As we move forward. So here's another interesting thing that I was just thinking of that just popped into my head of WWE announcing the new belt today. If you noticed on their social media, they were doing a lot of, hey, here's the 60-year history of the WWE Championship. They were doing a lot of that today. So this all kind of makes sense. We're in the back, and Jimmy Uso confronted Zayn. Jimmy said that Owens just used Zayn to get the tag titles. And when they lost those titles, Owens will turn on him yet again. Jimmy told Zayn to worry about his own brother. This is short and sweet. And basically, hey, you want to play mind games with my brother? I'm going to play mind games with you. Any thoughts?
I mean, not really. I mean, we kind of already addressed some of that stuff beforehand. So basically, just kind of Jimmy trying to get in the way of trying to stop Sammy from trying to manipulate Jay.
Exactly. So as we move forward, we had Cody Rhodes versus Finn Balor in an 11-minute match. I like this match. I thought this was the best match of the night. So Rhodes
sucked for Finn though.
Oh, Finn
really sucked for Finn.
Finn's always losing. What the? If they're not giving Finn this
I would have thought.
Go for it.
I would have thought when Triple H was in charge of creative, one of the main guys that he would have pushed heavily was Finn. But he just keeps losing.
Hey, for all we know, he told Finn, "We need you to help build other people, but you got something big coming. Maybe Finn wins this belt. Maybe it's Finn that they put the title on because Finn didn't get that world title run in 2016, so they're going to give it to him now in 2023. You never know."
Maybe.
So
it's if they were going to put this title on him, you would think they would give him a bunch of wins beforehand to make him look like he's actually deserving of it.
Yeah, you got a month now to build him up. I think how many Raws do we have before 1, 2, 3. We got 4 more Raws to build up Finn. Plus, honestly, though, if you do a tournament and throw Finn in the tournament, he just wins all the tournament matches and you're good to go there. There's building them up right there in one fell swoop. You can try to... You do a tournament and the finals, Finn and Seth. Does Finn beat Seth again? And you can build up the whole story of the match, Seth targeting the shoulder, saying, I'm going to pop your shoulder out again. I'm going to beat you by ruining your shoulder again. And you can hear, as I can hear, heel Seth yelling stuff about that the entire match. That'd actually be really cool. I'd actually really enjoy that.
You know what would be awesome, though? If they did, like,
The same spot?
like, similar to, like, the same spot of, like, where Finn hurt his shoulder, but, like, in a way where he doesn't actually hurt it.
Yeah. Or
where, like, commentary can be like, oh, Finn might have hurt his shoulder again, like he did in 2016.
Yep. And, like, you see him,
he's, like, all good to go.
you see him grab it and yank it, like, when he hurt it before and stuff. So. Would be interesting. Actually, I actually really want to see that now. I actually really want to see that.
But would we get like Demon Finn or regular Finn?
Oh, it's got to be Demon Finn. It's got to be. No, it depends. If we go into Night of Champions knowing it's just the title match, then you can do Demon Finn. But if you go in saying you have like semifinals and finals, I don't know if you can do Demon Finn. Maybe. And now we're fantasy booking a month out, and we don't even know if Finn and Seth are going to be on the correct brand. But as far as Finn versus Cody does go, Rhodes used his size advantage early on and hit a delayed vertical suplex. Balor ducked a running crossbody, and Rhodes went flying into the ropes. Rhodes sold his injured ribs as Balor pushed him into the announce table. Balor glanced at the new world title belt as they went to break. So, like, if we think about it, so far we know Austin Theory has teased wanting the belt. Finn looking over wanting the belt. Seth later. Cody never eyed that belt. Not that I noticed. Cody won the match and never looked over at that belt that I saw. Am I thinking wrong here? Like, I didn't notice Cody, like others, acknowledge the new title.
Cody didn't look at the belt, so that's basically already telling you that, hey, he still wants to beat Roman.
Yeah. Cody at one point fought back after the break with a disaster kick and got a 2 off of it. Balor blocked a Cody cutter and hit a headlock elbow drop for a 2. Balor stomped Rhodes' ribs and hit a sling blade, but Rhodes came back with a super kick and a Cody cutter for a 2. Cody then Balor stomped Rhodes and hit him with a shotgun drop kick, but Rhodes dodged the coup de grace. Balor blocked a crossroads and applied a small package for a 2. Rhodes then hit a pedigree, but did not go for the cover and instead hit a crossroads and then picked up the victory. The crowd really liked Cody winning, really liked him celebrating afterwards. Chicago loves Cody. And Cody picks up yet another victory on his way to Brock Lesnar at Backlash. Good match. I really liked it.
I still think maybe it's probably going to be Cody versus Brock for the main event at Backlash.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. Maybe Damian and Bad Bunny. Maybe. Because they're in Puerto Rico and the whole Bad Bunny thing. Maybe they have that street fight main event. Because especially if you think about it. Would you want a main event that's going to have a butt ton of interference, though? Because Ray's going to get involved. The LWO is going to get involved. Judgment Day is going to get involved. There's going to be a lot of interference in this street fight. Hence, why it's a street fight.
Yeah. If it was like, if it was like Cody and Brock, I could definitely see that match also being really short because, I think Brock really likes working like really long matches.
Brock likes 5 to 8 minutes. He'll do 10 minutes if it needs to, but Brock usually stays under 8 minutes. Well, then we got Seth Rollins. Rollins comes out and mentioned his upcoming match against Omos at Backlash, but then something bigger and better caught his eye. Rollins would leave the ring and turn his attention to the new World Heavyweight Championship as the crowd started chanting, "You deserve it." Rollins said that he was not on the list of names that Roman has actually defeated during his 1,000-day title reign, or soon-to-be 1,000-day title reign. Rollins said that a lot of people wanted to be Roman Reigns, but some people still wanted to fight. He called the new belt the opportunity for us to fight and push the industry forward and have a world champion that was about more than politics and part-timers. Rollins was putting money on himself to win the belt, but before he could, he led the crowd in singing of his song, and then out would come Omos and MVP. MVP said that they meant no disrespect because they respected Rollins immensely. MVP called Rollins one of the best superstars to embrace a WWE ring, and he has accomplished virtually everything you can do in this company. MVP called Rollins brilliant, except for his fashion choices. MVP said that it was his job to get Omos big matches, and a win over Rollins would be huge. MVP cautioned Rollins about making predictions about the future because he may not have one after Backlash. Rollins said that MVP understood Omos and called him the strongest force in WWE. Rollins said that Omos was once in a generation superstar because he was born that way. While Rollins was once in a generation because, well, he made himself that way. Rollins should be afraid of Omos, but he wasn't. Rollins would make Omos famous after he gave him the match of his life before bouncing his big head off the mat. After Omos wakes up from his 3-second nap, he would hear the crowd singing Seth's song. So interesting here. Just like with Finn and Cody. Finn eyes the belt, Cody doesn't. Seth eyes the belt, Omos doesn't. So Omos, you can kind of say, not in the picture. What would you think of the segment itself? I think really this is just a big win for Seth because Seth is going to be in contention for this match. And he's got to beat the Giant on his way to the new belt.
Oh, he has to be in contention for this belt. If not, then I don't know like who else they would replace him with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like this probably just gonna be like their way of saying like, oh, Seth picked up a big win at Backlash, so he's gonna be in contention for this, like a serious contender for this belt.
So then we got
You gotta put Seth in this tournament. He's either gonna be in the finals or the semifinals.
Yeah. So then we got a really funny segment with Kevin Owens and Matt Riddle. And Sammy eventually as well. So Riddle was talking. He was just talking Kevin's ear off. And he brings up fucking Little Giants and the annexation of what is it called? The annexation of New Mexico. No, it's not. I just lost it. What is it called? It's Little Giants, one of the greatest sports movies of all time. Is it the annexation of New Mexico? I think is what it's called. No. Oh, now it's going to bug the shit out of me. Little Giants play name. Annexation of Puerto Rico. No, is it the annexation of Puerto Rico? It is. I think it's the annexation of Puerto Rico. That's what it is. They're talking about the annexation of Puerto Rico and how they have a big match coming up in Puerto Rico. And finally, Sammy walks in. And Zayn mentioned that he spoke with the Usos. And Owens obviously didn't like hearing that. And he was like, yeah, I've had a bad night. And this. And then he goes, you think you've had a bad night? Where the hell have you been? I've been here with this guy. Owens basically told him that they need to stay focused for their match on Friday. He finally got fed up and left. Riddle then told Zayn that he knew exactly what he was going through. Zayn didn't know what he meant. Riddle goes, well, remember an old team called RK Bro? I know what the Bloodline can do. He said, I teamed with Randy Orton where everyone thought that Orton would turn on me, but he didn't because we're bros. Riddle said that Owens and Zayn were bros and everything would be cool, win, lose, or draw. And Zayn was like, hey, thanks for the pep talk. So yeah, kill.
And yeah, there was that like big rumor that maybe like Randy will turn on Riddle
Well, yeah, there was the whole
last year.
There was not even rumor. It was the fans always said, oh, Randy's eventually going to get tired of Riddle and turn on him. So that's why he thought, everyone always thought Randy would eventually turn on me, and he didn't. So.
Because a lot of people thought that was going to be like a big WrestleMania match right there. Either WrestleMania or
Could've.
SummerSlam.
Could have been. They talk about...
It eventually would have happened if
Yeah.
Randy didn't get hurt.
Yeah. So they talk about the card for Backlash. They run that down. They talk about Bad Bunny a few times, and they also let us know that Brock Lesnar will be on Raw next week. We then go into our main event, Rey Mysterio versus Damian Priest. The match itself goes just a little more than 11 minutes. Right before the match starts, or like right within the first minute or so of the match, they go, oh, Bad Bunny's posted on his Instagram. He's here. Look, video from outside the building. Well, that ain't the only video from outside the building we saw today, because as I mentioned earlier, we saw a video of CM Punk and Tamina in the parking lot as well. But regardless, Priest dumped Rey from the ring early as we went to a break about 2-3 minutes in. After the break, Rey mounted a comeback and hit a springboard crossbody for a 2. Rey went for a 619, but ran right into a boot from Damian Priest. Priest blocked Rey's offense again and hit a lifting flatliner for a 2. The crowd chanted for Rey as Priest grabbed a steel chair, but Rey sent him flying off the apron with a drop kick. Priest grabbed him and hit him with a choke slam, but Rey fought off and hit a 619. Rey went to the top, but Priest threw a chair at Rey, hit him in the head, and caused a disqualification. Bada bing, bada boom. Rey wins by DQ. Then, Priest hit Rey with his finisher and starts to clear the announce table when all of a sudden, we hear Bad Bunny's music. Bad Bunny makes his way out, kendo stick in hand. Rey just disappears like he's gone. Bad Bunny then enters the ring and hits Priest with a kendo stick as Priest charges at him. Priest caught him and set up for a chokeslam on the announce table, but Bunny slipped out and hit him repeatedly with a kendo stick. Priest then started to run away up the ramp as the crowd booed. Bunny then stood on the announce table and hyped up the crowd. He then informed Priest, hey, Damian, I'm no longer the host of Backlash. That is because I'm going to Puerto Rico to kick your ass. He then said at Backlash, it's going to be you and me in a street fight. And Priest is losing his crap on the top of the ramp going, what? You really want this? You want it? Huh? All right, fine. And yeah, I liked it. Crowd's going wild for Bad Bunny. We're getting a street fight between Bad Bunny and Damian Priest at Backlash. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, it's probably going to be a lot of outside interference. But I'm not against it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it as well. And I assume they might end up doing Finn and Dominic against Rey and Santos.
It's possible. Well,
They got to do something with LWO and Backlash.
how many matches
Not just like them like possibly interfering in the Bad Bunny match.
Right. How many matches do we have already? See, I don't know. We already have 7 matches. Triple H likes that 6-7 range. We already have. So the card for Backlash is as followed. 6-man tag. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Matt Riddle against the Bloodline, the Usos and Solo. Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. The SmackDown Women's Championship on the line. Rhea Ripley defending against Zelina Vega. Seth Rollins versus Omos. The U.S. title on the line. Austin Theory defending against Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. The Raw Women's Championship on the line. Bianca Belair defending against Io Sky. And then the street fight. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. So I was thinking as well doing LWO versus Judgment Day tag match. But then that makes 8 matches, and we could do 8. I wouldn't think you do more than 8. Triple H likes to keep around 6 or 7. as we've seen since he took over. But I can see them maybe going 8. But I agree. In Puerto Rico, you're building it up big, the LWO and the Puerto Rico LWO shirt, that you should give them a match.
I mean, I assume maybe the Rhea and Zelina one might be short, which would probably suck for Zelina, but I mean, they could probably have one of these matches just be like a 5 or 6 minute match, and then they could just put a tag match in there.
Oh, Chavo going at it again on Twitter an hour ago. Less than an hour. About an hour ago. Chavo tweeted, if Rey Mysterio is really mentioning the Guerrero name only in tribute and not to line his own pockets with cash, maybe he'll donate some of that money to charity. Or even better, how about to Eddie's daughters? That will show myself and the fans that he's not prostituting the family name. This mother sucker. Really? Now he's saying that Ray should donate some of the merch money. This guy.
Basically to like him or the daughters.
This guy.
Probably just more like a WWE thing, though. I mean,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
Ray probably pitched the idea.
Oh, I can see this being like a Triple H idea all the way. He just wants attention, though.
Maybe Ray like pitched a little bit of it, but maybe I think it was mostly just Triple H.
Probably. Yeah, I think he's just looking for attention, though. Because like someone comments and goes, he's not using Eddie's name. Eddie and Ray were best friends. That's why he pays tribute to him like at WrestleMania. That's why Ray brought back the LWO. And Chavo says, no, they weren't. Trying to say that they weren't best friends? He said, no, they weren't. Someone then, the same guy responds, why do you say that? And Chavo doesn't respond. What? Someone else comments and goes, just want to throw this out there. Unrelated here, really. It's rather interesting how random people on the internet who probably never knew Eddie on a personal level think they understand him better than his own nephew does. He says, exactly. Someone else comments saying, not being funny, your family has bigger shit to deal with than this. Vicky is literally suing her daughter because her husband is a... I'm not going to read the rest of that, but yeah, he said maybe Ray can help his daughter out with some of the lawyer money he's making off of her dad's name. And then this person says, line his own pockets. Sheesh, talk about jealous. And he says, pass some on to Eddie's daughters then. I guess he's only doing it for the money, dummy. This fucking Chavo. This fucking Chavo. I don't know.
Like, another thing is, like, Chavo's the only, like, Guerrero that's complaining about this.
Exactly.
Vicky has been very supportive, like, everything that WWE's been doing for Eddie. Like, they brought back LWO. They did, like, the Eddie music at Mania. Like, he's been, like, so happy with all of that. So...
yeah. So
yeah, it basically just shows maybe Chavo's just doing this for attention. Let's say maybe him and Ray didn't get along a lot.
I don't know.
So.
But yeah, he's like, oh, give the money to Eddie's kids. Give the money to Eddie's kids. Well, first off, Eddie was the leader of the LWO. I don't think Eddie's the one that created the LWO. That was a WCW creative thing, you know? So it's like, he's not even like taking, I don't, now we're thinking too far in. I don't know. We're thinking too much into it.
It's not like he's taking Eddie's ideas or anything.
Right. It's something WWE owns the rights to that apparently we had heard in the past they wanted to figure out ways to bring the use it. Like, this is not the first time. It's the first time it actually got done and used. But we had heard in the past that there were pitches on using the LWO name.
I'm pretty sure years ago, like Ray wanted it back, and he pitched a bunch of names like an Andrade, I think Kalisto,
Right.
like Sin Cara, a lot of those guys. Like now, it actually happened.
But with that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. You know what we thought of Raw. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Monday Night Raw. As far as the polls do go, let's refresh all of those. Refresh that one. Let's refresh this one. As far as the Twitter poll does go, wow, 79% liked the show. 12% thought it was just all right. And 7% didn't like it. As far as the YouTube community poll does go, 76% liked it. 18% thought it was just all right. And 6% didn't. This person says, incredible WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt. This person says, I liked Raw tonight. This person says, not as bad as Raw usually is. This person says, I liked it. I like the new belt. As far as the YouTube live poll does go, 80% liked the show. 13% thought it was just all right. And 6% did not like it. Looking over here at the Twitch poll, 100% liked the show. Very, very nice. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I do want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over on Twitter at Petke_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at TheLukePetke.
Remember, guys, you can follow us, like I said, a bunch of different places: Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You can follow me basically everywhere at Timmy Buddy. I might go live a little bit later on Twitch, twitch.tv/Timmy Buddy. No 100% guarantees because I got a lot of news videos I got to edit coming out of this Raw. So we'll see what time I get done with all of that. And then maybe I'll stream later. But with that, guys, have a great rest of your Monday. And we'll see you back here live on Wednesday for AEW. Have a good one, guys. All right, real quick, if you're still watching